Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
First opened in 2002, there's a look inside Ford Field here in downtown Detroit, the Motor City. Both teams emerging from the Ford Field tunnels just a short time ago. And, of course, the loudest cheers were reserved for the hometown Lions. They're set to go as they will match up with the Chicago Bears. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis, happy to be with you. And, Charles, we've got two teams who know each other extremely well. These division games, they tend to be battles.
People scout like crazy in this league, but no one scouts more than within the division. Because if you win your division, you're automatically in the playoffs. That puts extra emphasis on these games, and they can't wait to get at each other.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This one taken from the 7. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. So here are the Bears now for their opening drive. They'll be led out by their 6'2" QB out of North Carolina, former number 2 overall pick. It's Mitchell Trubisky. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Double time. You got three down.
Quick pass out to Miller. Call it no gain on the game's first play, and it's 2nd down now. And this offense often hinges on one of the best tight ends in the league, and that's Jimmy Graham.
I think he made up for lost time when he got to the NFL because in college, he was mainly a basketball player, a defender who couldn't score. Now he's flipped it around in the NFL. Every time he touches the ball, he's a threat to score.
Get that quarterback, D-line.
Throwing on 2nd down. Trubisky rolling to his right. Able to make something out of nothing there. 17 yards and a 1st down.
Partner, as a quarterback, sometimes you just got to know when the clock has gone off in your head, it's time to go. Tuck it and get all you can.
Sit up. 180. Mike, 58, right there. Oh, here we go.
On 1st down, Trubisky. That's Cordero Patterson hauling it in. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. A gain there of 12 yards and a 1st down for the Bears.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
180.
So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 41. Now Trubisky to throw. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. Jimmy Graham, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up 2nd down. And now the Lions' defensive starters.
You have to love Jamie Collins. You can use him just about anywhere on the defense. Inside linebacker, outside linebacker, defensive end. He might even play a little bit of safety if you give him the chance.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41.
Crunch.
Now it's Trubisky. He completes this into the hands of Miller. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. They face a 3rd and 4 after that last completion gets them 6. Trubisky to throw again. Got a man, it's Patterson, complete. And he gets it down a yard or two shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds. So first possession, 4th and short. Field goal's no gimme from here. What do you think about going for it?
I'm not just thinking about it. I'm signaling go for it. Let's get this, all
Okay.
right? Yeah, look, you're right. The field goal's there, but it's not a chip shot. My big thing is opening drive. You're trying to establish momentum. Let's not stall it ourselves. Let's go get this first down and then continue on downfield and try and get a touchdown.
Like your confidence.
Yeah, why not? Let's go.
So the opening drive does yield points, maybe not the 7 they wanted, but they'll take the 3.
Accumulating first downs does not go up on the scoreboard, but it does go into the DNA of a team that's trying to establish itself to start a game. That has to feel pretty good for them. They'll take the 3.
Yeah, they had 3 first downs and 3 points. After the field goal, on to kick it away is Pinheiro. This fielded at the 2. Then he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. They'll be led out by a former Pro Bowl quarterback out of the University of Georgia, Matthew Stafford.
Matthew Stafford is a big-arm guy who's learned how to temper some of his throws. Actually has added a lot more touch and accuracy as his career has gone along. Big-time confidence in his arm, though. Any throw you want, he can make it.
Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at their own 27. From the gun, here's Stafford. And he finds Danny Amendola. And they'll wind up getting this to the 37. Gain of 9.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Faking the give to Johnson. Now it's Stafford. That'll be taken in there by Kenny Golladay. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 15 yards for the Lions there on a 1st down.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. They'll fake it. Now Stafford. Catch is made by Hockenson, the tight end. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
That 1st down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. They'll run for the first time with Johnson. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41. And here are the Chicago defensive starters.
Robert Quinn gets to the quarterback as well as any defensive end in the league. A lot of it goes back to his high school wrestling background. He understands leverage and hands as well as anyone.
A good chance this is 4-down territory if they're unable to convert. But right now looking at a 3rd and 3. Now it's Stafford off the bootleg. It's caught. Jones. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. They'll get 17 that time, and the Lions have a 1st down. I don't think it's a surprise they're throwing the football early. We expected that. They told us they were going to come out firing, but 4 for 4 on the opening drive. They like that.
They don't just like it, they love it, because now everyone gets locked in. Your confidence jumps up. Everyone's easy about what they're doing out there. And by the way, they're looking at the sideline thinking to themselves and expressing, let's keep throwing it. We're doing pretty well.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to get about 3 as he's taken down right at the 20.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That was a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
I can't believe they let you play. I can't believe it.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Johnson. This will be a 5-yard pickup as they move it from the 20 to the 15.
All right, Brandon, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
Trying to keep the drive going here. This is play number 7 on 3rd and 2.
Let's go, D. Tighten up.
Here's Stafford. And Amendola with a catch. And he gets the first down yardage before he's brought down just outside the 10 at the 11. And that'll be enough to keep the drive moving forward. Another first down on the pickup of 5 yards.
That throw's not going to get them a whole lot, but that really didn't matter, did it? They got what they needed on that throw. Picked up the first down, and I'm going cliche here, game of inches, partner.
Absolutely. Well, and you talked to me a lot about opening drives, how key those are to set the tone. You kept the drive alive. 3rd down conversion here is big. Stafford going to come up 1st and 10. And he's a perfect 5 for 5 here to begin the game. And this is caught. A spectacular one-handed grab there. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
It's got to the point where we see guys like that make that type of a catch. Not fair goes through my brain. That size, that speed, and now they're acting like wide receivers too.
Yeah, tight end one-handed catches. They're kind of like wide receiver one-handed catches nowadays. Just
not right.
To throw again on 2nd down. Stafford. And down he goes. Pressure gets him back at the 14. The sack by Robert Quinn.
Well, nothing takes a start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
No, now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
After the sack, Stafford and the Lions come up on a 3rd and long situation. A shotgun snap for Stafford. And he's going to go down again. That's sacked by Khalil Mack. Charles, a little bit of feast or famine on this drive. They moved the ball okay, but they've been sacked twice now.
And they've got to figure out how to plug that leak a little bit, right? Keep them away from the quarterback because when he's not being hit, as you mentioned, they're moving the ball well.
So on 4th down, the Lions turn it over to Matt Prater for the field goal try. This will be a 37-yard attempt. And the 12-year veteran knocks it right through, and that will tie us at 3-3. A dozen plays on that drive that ends with the field goal.
Let's go ahead and break out some of the old chestnuts here, right, partner? Keep the ball in front, rally to it, and make the tackle, right? No big plays given up, no balls over your head. Bend, don't break.
Hold on. Chestnuts?
You like
Come
that
on.
one?
What does that mean, break out? Just because you break chestnuts?
I'm not sure about that, but I'm just going with why they said that. I have no idea.
Each team with a possession, each team with a field goal as the kick is away. This will be taken in at the 1. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you've met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
Trubisky brings the Bears up 1st and 10 at their own 24. Here's the first carry for Tariq Cohen. Nowhere to go that time. Might have gotten a yard up to the 25.
Nice job by that defensive front there to hold him to a short gain on 1st down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Out of the gun, Trubisky. And the hook up here to Allen Robinson. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That one good for 26 and a 1st down.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it. He's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play on the football.
So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Powerful running. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. It's a pickup of 10 and a Bears 1st down. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on 1st quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. First down, a run with Cohen. The veteran Jamie Collins there on the tackle.
Well, he was looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Now it's Trubisky. Stepping up, he's going to keep it. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. A good decision in the end to pull it and run, gets him 9 yards and a 1st.
Well, he did a nice job keeping his eyes downfield, waiting for someone to get open. But once the pressure forced his eyes down to see the rush, it was time to make a break for it.
They go play action. Trubisky. He'll buy some time right. And he's going to keep it here. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
180! Here we go, team. Here I come.
Draw play here. Trubisky gives to Cohen. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this 1st quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
Well, this is caught by Ginn. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. The Bears on the move. They've got another 1st down.
I think a lot of people ask the same question all the time. Why do we see so many slants in the red zone? Well, the windows are tighter. Everything's more condensed. It has to be quicker, and you've got to deliver the ball on time. Your biggest worry, ball gets tipped in the air, because if that happens, then it's fair game for the defense.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3.
That run didn't get very far, and I think when you're looking at his dimensions, he's a little bit on the smaller side. He's counting on the big guys up front to escort him in, and they couldn't create any kind of space for him, could they?
Yeah, didn't get the push they needed. So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. They will run for the first time with David Montgomery. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. They call that a loss of 6 yards. And it's 3rd down now.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Try to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. These two teams all tied after 1. This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on 3rd and goal? Throwing here, Trubisky. And that is incomplete. Well, so a drive that spans all that time, and yet you may only come away with 3 points here.
Well, your defense, all right, they actually like these long drives. They get to rest over on the sidelines for a while. But when you're not finishing with points in terms of touchdowns, that's frustrating. They've got to figure out how to close out these long drives and get 6s instead of 3s.
The kick by Pinheiro is good. And they will take the lead here in this battle of field goals at 6-3. So we're trading first-half field goals. No breakthrough on the touchdown front. We got a 6-3 game.
Yeah, and I know so many people look at a game through offensive eyes, right? They want to see how the game's played that way. You know how I'm going to view it, right? The defenses, to me, have responded well in this game. Like what I'm seeing from them, both of them hoping to keep it to field goals and not give up big touchdowns.
After the field goal, on to kick it away is Pinheiro. This is taken at his 4. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. And they had a long drive last time, but they had to settle for a field goal, and I'm sure that's how it felt to them, settling. They probably should have gotten in the end zone.
Yeah, not out-and-out joy, right? Because that's what you get when you put the ball in the end zone. But there are benefits to that type of a long drive. Your defense gets a chance to take a break, adjust a little bit, maybe get themselves ready to get back out on the field and play a little bit better. So they'll take the benefit even though they wanted the 6 points.
And maybe wore down the other defense. We'll see. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13.
Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, people say bring in your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Out of the gun, Stafford. Open man, he's got him, the tight end, Hockenson. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. It'll be a loss of 1, and they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop, but that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything, so it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
3rd and long, it's Stafford. And he's got Amendola on the connection. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 15 yards for the Lions there on a 1st down.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
I used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
Stafford going to come up 1st and 10, and he's 8 for 8 now, throwing the ball to start the game. They'll run it now out of the gun. Buster Screen is able to bring him down.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on 1st down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
Check.
Back to throw, Stafford. Going underneath, he's got Hockenson. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
Here's Stafford. And unable to connect, incomplete. Now give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. That close on 3rd down, I think everybody probably expecting a run. Instead, they go to the air on 3rd and short yardage.
I realize this is a passing league, and they're liable to throw the ball on any down and distance, but that short, I do question the call. Run the football and pick it up.
On 4th down, on is the punter, Colby Wadman. Tariq Cohen is deep for the Bears. And this will depend on the spot as it sails out of bounds. And they'll say it sailed out at the 10-yard line. The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game. But this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football. Because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
The last run got 9. That leaves him with 2nd and a yard. They'll run on 2nd down with Cohen. And he'll get it up here this time to the 21. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far. And after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going. And really, the offensive line not helping him much.
Squeeze, double.
On 1st down, they go right back to Cohen. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down. Moving backwards on 1st down, never a good thing. What does that do for the mindset on 2nd down?
Well, it changes your play call, definitely, because as a play call, you're advancing yourself thinking, okay, we're going to get a gain here. Now you've got to go back in reverse, come up with something to pick up not just the yardage lost, but gain a few extra.
180! 51 to mine. Here we go.
On 2nd down, it's Cohen. And this one also slow in developing as he's maybe getting back here to the line of scrimmage, but not much more than that.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
On third down, Trubisky. They'll roll him out right. He can run for it, and he will. That one a broken play, but it ends up being a good play. The scramble goes for 20.
When they watch film of this game and hand out the grade sheets, he's going to really like getting a double plus on this play. Why? He scrambles and picks up a first down. But what else does he do? Protects himself by sliding and avoiding the big hit. Double plus, big-time play.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Now they'll throw it with Trubisky. And he finds his tight end, Graham. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on first down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a second and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Quick pass out to Miller. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be 3rd down.
Brandon, just mark that under the category of just not successful. Trying to throw the ball, just didn't work on that one.
Completed it. No yardage. The Bears on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 3. Now it's Trubisky. And he's got Miller. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 41-yard line.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you're wanting to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Trubisky now 9 of 11 passing in this first half. He's got his guys at 1st and 10. Trubisky gives to Cohen. And the lane closes up quickly as he'll get about 3 down to the 38.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
Let's get off the field. Let's get off the field.
Play action. It's Trubisky. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 14.
Almost not fair. The big guy running the corner route, being able to lean and push and get to where he wants.
So how do you stop it?
A lot of times you want to have a linebacker on him, a bigger body guy who can handle him physically. But a lot of times that doesn't work as well because his quickness often wins the route.
Trubisky will come up here 1st and 10, and he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. Here's Trubisky. The connection made. It's Graham. And he's taken down at the 7 after a gain of 7. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. On 2nd down, Montgomery. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And it'll be 3rd down.
Brandon, one thing about blitzes, they really confuse offensive linemen at times. And what you have to do is lock in on the guy right in front of you. If you don't, you saw the end result. Defensive tackle ended up making the play.
A 3rd field goal of the first half, not what they're looking for as they come up on 3rd down.
Just like that.
From the gun, it's Trubisky. His pass caught at the 4. And he's able to pick up the first before he's brought down inside the 5 at the 4. The gain of 5 that time gives him the conversion and makes it 1st and goal. Well, they've had a great, impressive drive going here, and that pickup ensures the drive continues.
And not only do you continue the drive, which is demoralizing for the guys on the defensive side of the ball right now, but you make your own defense happy. They're able to get a little more rest over on the sidelines while this one continues downfield.
So another 3rd down conversion, and now they've got a 1st and goal.
Here we go. Yeah.
They'll try to counter here. Cohen. And he gets halfway home from the 4 down to the 2-yard line. Looking at this now, you got a couple more cracks here this close. Sneak it?
I don't think you even go into a huddle. Just line up, snap it, and fall in behind those guys into the end zone.
They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. Trubisky will throw. And he's going to go down. This will count as a sack, a very short sack, taken down at the 2. He was trying to keep his eyes downfield. Nobody came open.
He's trying to do everything that he had been taught, right? Every bit of the technique. But if no one's open, there is no technique except make sure you hold on to the ball as you go to the ground when you're getting sacked.
So here we go on a 3rd and goal. This Lions defense, they haven't broken yet. They'll run forward Montgomery. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1. This is a long drive offensively. Wouldn't you hate to end this with just 3 points?
Doesn't it feel like during a ball game you have certain narratives going on and there's certain drives that seem to take on just a bit more importance than others? This feels like one of those, doesn't it? To me, 3 points here, a major letdown. This is the time to go and put 6 on the board.
So now here comes the field goal team for the 3rd time today. From the left hash, a chip shot here. The kick by Pinheiro is good. And they continue to lead in the battle of field goals here. It's now 9-3. So he remains perfect, 3 for 3 in the field goal department.
And it's so important for any offense to have an ace like him up their sleeve, isn't it?
After the field goal, on to kick it away is Pinheiro. This fielded at the 2. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard. But business to take care of before we get there.
A 2-minute drill before the coach's 2-minute drill.
Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end.
I know that halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his 5th catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end. The last play on the completion got them half of what they needed. Now here's a tough 3rd and 5. From the gun, here's Stafford. And almost picked off. I guess the good news for them now, it's 4th down. Not much going on this drive. Looks like they're going to have to punt it away, CD.
And right now, I know a lot of their fans are screaming for the OC to change things up, get away from what he's been calling. Sometimes you just need better execution of the plays that have been called.
Here comes the Lions punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And the Bears take over. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. And a methodical drive last time, but they couldn't get that knockout blow. They had to settle for 3.
But you got to like what they've been doing along the way, right? It's almost like the body blows, the setup punch. As you said, they didn't get the knockout blow here, but that doesn't mean it can't come later in the game on another possession. And the defense on the other side.
Maybe a little gassed,
right?
right?
Yeah, a little tired. And if nothing else, they just feel relieved getting upfield only giving up 3. They don't exactly feel like they've handled the offense.
On 1st and 10, it's Trubisky. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete. Cordero Patterson, the one he was hoping to get it to. That'll bring up 2nd down.
There are a good number of coaches that any time they call an in route are really worried about the play because there's so much traffic ordinarily that the ball has to get through to get to the receiver. And on that play, it was batted down.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Now Trubisky to throw. And Graham's got it. Complete. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
The last catch nearly got him a first, but it did not, and they'll try to convert on 3rd and inches. Here's Trubisky to throw, and Robinson with a big catch. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. Mark that down as a pickup of 13, and the Bears have the first. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime.
Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage, so they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the 1st down.
Trubisky now 14 out of 17, 82%, and it's 1st and 10. Ginn has it complete. Now the Bears going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Could we get a touchdown in this first half after all? It's 1st and 10. Again, it's Trubisky. He completes this into the hands of Miller. And he is brought down, but not before reaching the 30. Well, they had a gain of 10 last time, now a gain of 20 here. So there on that play, offensively, they ran the crossing route. Defense was in zone coverage, so as a former DB, how tough is it to defend that?
It's really difficult because your natural inclination is to chase the receiver and maybe leave your zone. So you have to have discipline in order to talk to your other coverage guys and let him know that that receiver's crossing from your zone to the next zone. He's coming your way. Make sure you have him. And then when the ball is actually thrown, secure the tackle. When they're moving on crossing routes, if you miss a tackle, it usually results in a big play.
Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down.
They brought the blitz that time, and I thought they were going to get to him, but instead, he flipped it on its ear and ended up picking up positive yardage.
I thought he was dead to rights, but you are exactly correct, sir. Able to turn that into a positive gain. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. So on 2nd down, the field goal unit is on here as they try to get 3 before half. This a 40-yard attempt from the left hash. The kick by Pinheiro is good. And the lead stretches to 9. It's now 12-3. So a capper there to a pretty good first half.
And I love the way that they put a chokehold on the clock and pretty much drained everything before they put the field goal on the board as they headed into the half.
After the field goal, on to kick it away is Pinheiro. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Likely time for just one final play, and then it'll be off to the locker room to talk about how they can erase this deficit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people look at it and go, well, maybe you take a shot here. Maybe you get some momentum going into the half. What's the flip side of that? You do something crazy, quarterback gets hit, ball comes free, and now you're down an even bigger margin. Go ahead and take this one, go to the locker room, start over.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome, everybody, to our abbreviated version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. This one has been a hard-hitting affair to this point, and you got to expect we'll see more of the same in the second half. And to bring the action your way, let's get it right back out to Brandon Gaudin.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This will be taken in at the 1. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. The Lions offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's second down. Up front, the struggles continue for this offense among the line. What can they do? Change the play calling? What?
I think part of that, yes, changing some of the play calls, some screens, some draws, some misdirection. You want to run any type of a play that will influence these guys to continue to get upfield and find a way to use that against them and slip things in behind them. So some quick passes could work as well.
The loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. They go to Johnson again. And an alley to run. And getting this just shy of midfield. They'll spot it at the 49. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. Couple of very nice carries to start this drive out.
Yeah, 2 first downs. And how about that second one? What a nice run on that particular play. I'm telling you, they're going to start to think that this game is easy if they continue to rip off yardage like this.
Now on the heels of that run by Johnson, here's another 1st and 10.
Let him know, let him know.
Now it's Stafford. Catch is made by Hockenson, the tight end.
That was a nice throw out there to the flat, but they defended that pretty well. The hope is to go ahead and put it on him so he can turn and get upfield and gain additional yardage. There just wasn't anywhere to go on that play.
So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on 1st down. Throwing is Stafford. And it's caught here, Amendola. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Stafford. And that's knocked away and incomplete. Kyle Fuller there defensively.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Here comes the Lions punter now as he's on to kick it away. And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Bears now as they get set for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
And how about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down, not giving up any points, and turning the ball back over. They want to do their part now and show them a little respect and some gratitude by scoring some points.
And to get a little more cushion. Trubisky brings the Bears up 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. They'll start with a give to Cohen. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Now it's Trubisky. They'll find Miller. That's complete. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Out of the gun, running with Cohen. And an alley to run. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. A gain there of 12 yards and a first down for the Bears.
First downs have not come easy, and neither have runs like this throughout this game.
Absolutely not. He finally felt like, whoa, a sigh of relief. We got something going in the running game. They'll throw on first down with Trubisky. Got a man. It's Patterson, complete. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1.
Let's go, defense.
Trubisky now off the bootleg. Gets this to his running back, Tariq Cohen. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
They run. Montgomery. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Now Trubisky. And he finds his tight end, Graham. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. A good pickup, 17 yards and a Bear first down.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
Trubisky will come up here 1st and 10, and he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. They run. This is Cohen. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. From From the 16, Trubisky. And his throw is incomplete. Allen Robinson, the intended receiver. But now it'll be 3rd down.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. This will be play number 9 of the drive here as they need 4 yards on 3rd down. Throwing here, Trubisky. Oh, incomplete. Nearly the pick they needed. They would have loved one there, but at least it does get them to 4th down. Another good drive, Charles, but it looks like another that might end in a field goal try.
They've made some nice plays. They've given themselves opportunities, but as you noted, another field goal attempt coming up. And that's not how they want to end drives. They've got to figure out what's the final touch that they need to push it across the goal line.
Yeah, still yet to find the end zone. The kick by Pinheiro is good. And that's going to bump up their lead now to 15-3. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays that when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
After the field goal, on to kick it away is Pinheiro. This fielded at the 2. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. The Lions offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Mike, set, get a 20! I'm coming!
From the 30 on 2nd down, Stafford complete to Jones.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 1st down Lions on a pickup of 13.
Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? That looked like they were playing for the pass. That was 3rd and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you ought to have a few men in the box there.
On 1st down, Stafford here. Open man, he's got him, the tight end, Hockenson. A loss of 2 there, 2nd down. And never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way, lost yardage.
No, for some reason it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you can move the ball downfield running it that way, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage play. That's going to feel good and look great in film.
2nd and 12 after the 1st down pass play went backwards for 2 yards. They're running the jet sweep with Jones. And he's got it across midfield and into Bear territory. 8 yards there on the carry, and now they're left with a much more manageable 3rd and 3.
That's a really good job right there. Just kept stringing that play out, pushing further and further towards the sideline. Really good fundamentals by that defense.
He was trying to put his foot in the ground and turn upfield. He just couldn't.
No, they really had a picket fence in front of him. No room to find to get upfield.
Stafford now to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
Well, touch and timing are critical for those types of throws. He put a lot of zip on that one. Needed just a little bit more finesse trying to get it to his back.
Here comes the Lions punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. 46 on his first kick, this one in that neighborhood as well. And they won't risk defending a return here. That one's out of bounds, and it'll be spotted at the 14-yard line. The Bears offense now heading back out onto the field. And last time they were able to churn some clock. They got the field goal, added onto their lead. But that was a drive that was so long, it should have ended in a touchdown. You know that's how they felt.
And we'll both be headed to the airport after the game. But we probably should go to the post-game press conference because someone's going to ask the head coach about this drive, and he's going to profess that he was happy to get points, and we know that's not true.
Yeah.
Okay, after this type of a drive, not getting a touchdown, a huge disappointment.
They go play action here on first down. The connection made. It's Graham. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. 23 yards, the final tally.
I feel for some of these guys nowadays because it is so tough to be able to run with these tight ends. Their speed, their elusiveness, especially when they run across the field, because you're not just running with him, you're trying to run through some traffic as well.
So the ref takes a peek here, wants to see if the receiver had possession and both feet inbounds.
If this were a college game, this would be a legal catch. It's the second foot that they're looking at to make sure it gets down. You have to have 2 inbounds in the NFL.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup. The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
On 2nd and 9, Trubisky. And he completes it to Cohen. They'll give him a yard on the play, and just like that, it's 3rd down. This defense tightening up a bit. That last catch, just 1 yard, making it 3rd and 9. Out of the gun, Trubisky. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Here's Pat O'Donnell now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the 3rd. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at the 20. They'll run it now out of the gun. He'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 23.
Defenses always talk about earning the right to rush the passer on 3rd down. And you know what offenses want? Win 1st down so they can set things up for themselves better.
And that wasn't helpful there. Not a big impact on 1st down. Now 2nd and 7 from the 23. They'll run it now out of the gun. And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24. A 1-yard gain there following the 3-yard pickup on 1st down.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Stafford. It's caught. Jones. They'll get 17 that time, and the Lions have a 1st down.
But we're used to seeing the guy that you consider the number 1 receiver double covered. But how about this guy? He's double covered and finds a way to make the play for a 1st down.
That's how you increase your Madden rating, right?
No doubt about that at all. And you know something? I think we'll hear about that from him soon.
Stafford now, perfect since the second half started, 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Out of the gun, Stafford. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Now Stafford. And that's incomplete. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Watch tight. Tight is right. Everyone's got 4.
Throwing again is Stafford. He's got his man, T.J. Hockenson. And he's got the 1st down before being taken down at the 46. It'll be a pickup of 4, good enough to earn him yet another 1st down.
And that one was a lot of fun right there because that was the game within the game. 3rd and short, blitz was on. What's the key for the quarterback? Get out of your hands in a hurry. And that was a quick little completion. Got the job done for a 1st down.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Faking the give to Johnson. Now it's Stafford. Pressure, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back right around the 44. Khalil Mack able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. Now this will probably be the last play of the quarter. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. To throw is Stafford. Going underneath, he's got Hawkinson. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
This offense 2 for 2 on 3rd downs on this drive. They're in for a tough test here, though. 3rd and long.
They don't want it, fellas. They don't want it.
That's certainly playing down and distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
Here is Matt Prater now. He's got the leg for this as he holds the NFL record with a 64-yarder back in 2013. They spot it on the midfield stripe, so it is a 60-yard attempt here. Tariq Cohen and the rest of the offense heading back out there. And in the early going, the running game, as we see the numbers, it just wasn't on point. Well, now it's gotten more true to form.
And sometimes it takes a little while for an offensive line to get in sync because early in a game, defenses throw different patterns at you, different formations, different sets, and you might not block them quite the way you want to, but as you start to get into a groove and you figure out what they're doing, now it all comes together, and that's what we're seeing right now.
Trubisky brings the Bears up 1st and 10, right at the 50-yard line. Now a shotgun handoff to Cohen. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Yeah, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time.
Oh, Cohen lost the football, and this is scooped up by the Lions. And they will set up shop at their own 46-yard line.
Partner, that one looked like it was over. I mean, they had control, had the football, and the defense had to make a play in order to keep them in the game. That's exactly what they did.
And now that door ajar, 2-score game, so hold on here, not done in the 4th. And Detroit getting set to go now. And the last go-around for them, they tried that really, really long field goal, couldn't connect.
And in retrospect, I think a lot of people would say, well, why would you try one that long? You hurt yourself in field position. The ball comes out, there. That only helps the other team. But I look at it as maybe it was a double shot of confidence. Confident the kicker could make it. And even if he missed, confident in their defense that they could hold him.
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 46. Following the fumble recovery, Stafford. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup. 4th quarter, every drive's so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the 2nd touchdown. You got the 1st one for the 2nd one to even matter.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Stafford looking downfield for Jones. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
On every offensive coordinator, every play caller sheet, they have about 5 or 6 plays per game that they call shot plays or big plays, and you don't get many opportunities to dial them up, and they just did, and they drop it with a great chance to make a big play. That's going to hurt.
And he'll find Galladay. That's complete. A big 3rd down pickup of 20 yards. And in a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every 3rd down, like we saw there, magnified, big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to 3rd down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Let's go, tight end. Let's go right here now.
Stafford looks to throw again. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. He was trying to find Marvin Jones that time, and that'll make it third down. Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice, or maybe even routes versus air, because that's a completion he makes, 9.9 times out of 10? Just missed that one.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. A good effort there, 9 yards, but it's going to leave him looking at a 4th and 1.
And after that type of a run, there's some talking going on down on the field, but it's not trash talking. The guy who just carried the ball, he's going back and telling his offensive line, great job, keep it up, and we'll break that one soon.
Okay, so thought they might go for it here, down late. Instead, they trot out the field goal unit. From the left hash, this from 39. Prater's kick is good. And the lead is down to 9. It's 15-6. So that's a 7-play drive that ultimately stalls out there at the end.
Yeah, things were a little leaky in the beginning on that drive, weren't they? But how about the front 7? As they got closer to the goal line, things stiffened a little bit, forced the field goal.
So the lead is now dwindled to 9 as the kick here is away. This one fielded at the 5. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. And here comes the Lions defensive unit. They trot back out onto the field. And recovered a fumble on their side of the field last time. Led to a field goal. We'll see if they can force another turnover now.
And you got to love the way that they're playing. You go back to that last series, it's almost like baseball when a guy is hitting really well. See ball, hit ball, right?
Pretty simple.
In this case, they'll make it simple on defense. See ball, get ball. And that's exactly what they did.
Going back to the archaic time.
Yes, sir. Make it simple.
Trubisky brings the Bears up 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. Now Trubisky to throw. He'll run it. He'll have a first down past the 40. Able to make something out of nothing there. 17 yards and a first down.
Man, defensively, that hurts. They got him out of his rhythm. They had him hemmed in, but somehow he was able to tuck it away and get away for a gain.
Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down. This is Cohen. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Here we go, D. Here I come again. Here I come again. Here I come again.
They try again with Cohen. And he's going to get it across the midfield stripe into Lion territory. Give him 6 yards on the carry. It's going to be 3rd and 3 now.
Good, strong run against the 3-4 set. And that 3-4, you got to have your guys up front eat up a lot of blocks. The guy playing over the center, the nose, he usually has to take on double teams. But when you're able to successfully move him, you're often able to get some yardage. And that's when linebackers have to clean up and make tackles.
Now they'll run it with Cohen. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. A Chicago first down there on a gain of 11.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on third down, and we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball, you often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, third down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now they'll throw it with Trubisky. It's complete. It's Miller. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. 25 yards that time. And defensively, they just don't seem to have much of an answer for this passing game.
Not at all. Look at the confidence that's exhibited here. With that type of a lead, clock on their side, instead of running it, they're still throwing it, trying to pick up first downs and keeping the football.
Watch the slap. Watch the slap. Watch the slap.
They go play action with Trubisky. Out to his left. He's going to take off with it. And he will score. Touchdown, Chicago. A 12-yard touchdown run as the Bears push further out in front. Not the first time on this drive we saw him take matters into his own hands, and this time he finishes things off with a touchdown run.
You're not going to be happy with me, but I think he took matters into his own feet, didn't he?
Oh, Davis from the top rope. I like it. Now Trubisky will lead the Bears up to go for 2. They're going to try and run. And he will get into the end zone to bump the lead up to 3 scores. And they're able to ground it in there on the 2-point try. And you and I were talking before the game that 2-point conversions from the 15-16 season, what has changed, what hasn't changed, partner?
Yeah, I'll tell you what's changed is just your normal strategy, because now you're either kicking the football with the ball on the 15-yard line, or if you decide to go for 2, they put it on the 2-yard line. So what are you thinking as a coach? Do I risk it? Do I go for it here? Do I try and gain a strategic advantage and maybe go for 2 early? That's what people are wondering about.
Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. This will be fielded at the 6. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line.
Let's go. Let's go.
Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. From the gun, here's Stafford. And it's caught here, Amendola. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 15 yards for the Lions there on a first down. Decent start to the drive, but let's face it, they need a lot of things to go right in a short amount of time, down 3 scores.
Yeah, they're going to run their 2-minute offense here in this game, but this is for future games. Can they get better and be ready for the next time, hopefully with a chance to win?
Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down.
Let's get off the field, D.
A shotgun snap for Stafford. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. The intended target, T.J. Hawkinson, but it'll be 2nd down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Stafford delivers this to Hawkinson. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down.
You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
The last catch did get 3, but they're still left needing 7 yards on third down. Again, it's Stafford. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. A big play there. 53 yards. And the Lions are able to draw a bit closer. Well, he's used to running it that distance. Here he had to catch it, too, before making the run. Heck of a play for the score.
There's not many things better for an offense than a back who is a complete guy, who can run it and catch it. And we just saw him complete a big-time play for a touchdown.
Now Matt Prater for the point after. It is true. The lead cut to 10, 23-13. Just a 4-play drive that time. And the end result, a Detroit touchdown. So the lead back down to 10 as things get a little more interesting, and the kick is away. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line.
Get ready.
And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field.
Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this fourth quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
Trubisky brings the Bears up 1st and 10 at their own 26. They begin the drive on the ground with Cohen. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. So the solid run on first, and I would imagine no real hurry to run that 2nd down play.
No, it's all on your quarterback now. He's going to keep an eye on the play clock and bleed things down, and he's not going to let the ball be snapped until it's inside 3 seconds left on the play clock. Unless, of course, you're playing a video game, you're trying to run it up on your friend.
Nice touch. Cold-blooded, too. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a first down.
Play action. It's Trubisky. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Trey Flowers, the former Arkansas Razorback, in there to get him. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result? Quarterback gets hit.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. Draw play. Cohen. Call it a 3-yard gain, but they'll be forced into a 3rd and 15 coming up.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
The Bears on third down. They've hit on half of them, 5 for 10. This will be 3rd and 15. From the shotgun is Trubisky. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down. Critical play in this football game because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
Here's Pat O'Donnell now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
And Detroit getting set to go now. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at their own 15. From the gun, Stafford. Amendola's got it complete. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. 1st down Detroit, 16 yards on the pickup. A good start there on this 4th quarter drive. They need more of what we just saw.
Down a couple of scores. There's still time, all right? It's not like, they're totally out of it, but they have to score quickly, and they're going to need some big-time plays, chunk plays, explosive plays. They need yardage on each snap.
Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Hey, come on. Come get some. Come on. He don't want it.
Operating from the gun, Stafford. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. That pass just a little bit off. It looked like maybe he tried to force it in there.
Game speed, always different, no matter what you do in practice. Can't simulate it, right? So your decision-making, everything has to be a little bit quicker. Sometimes it can throw you off until you adjust.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32. Throwing again, Stafford. Catch is made by Hockenson, the tight end. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's a gain of 10 for the Lions and a 1st down.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play.
Oh, a hit. He lost the football. Stafford puts it on the ground. And this is picked up by the Bears. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line.
Brandon, I don't want to violate any of our broadcasting rules by declaring a game over before it's over. But that one, that puts them in real jeopardy there.
Absolutely. It was a 2-possession game. It is a 2-possession game at this stage in the 4th. They needed points out of that drive.
And obviously now, no chance at all to get those points that they so desperately needed.
Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. They were forced to punt last time. Now, I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot, great opportunity to run your full playbook. If they want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Now Cohen. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
Again, it's Cohen. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. That 2nd down play nets a -4. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Bears with the football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. From the gun on third down, it's Trubisky. And Robinson with a big catch. So fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:55 remaining. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. On the give, this is Cohen. And he'll take this one down near the 15. And now with 1:52 to go, we get another pause in the action. A timeout here defensively. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. They'll keep it on the ground. Cohen. And they get to him quickly here as he's stopped right around the 13. Another 2-yard gain there, but they'll need to do better this time. It's 3rd and 6. 2 yards on the first down carry, and then followed up by 2 yards on the second down carry.
Well, that's definitely not going to be enough to get the job done. Wasn't the expression 3 yards in a cloud of dust?
Now they're going to need 6 on third down to keep the drive going. On third down, a run with Cohen. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. A gain of 2, just like we saw on 1st and 2nd down as well. Deuce is wild.
Well, this was just simply excellent defense. On this 3rd down, they had to be alert for the possibility of a pass, but that didn't stop them at all from understanding what was going on when they decided to run the football, and they just swarmed and stuffed them for almost no gain.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. The kick by Pinheiro is good. And that will stretch the lead up to 13. Well, it's hard to put your finger on whether this is something to celebrate or something maybe the offense is embarrassed by, but that's now 6 field goals he's made in this game alone.
Yeah, he's bailed them out quite a bit so far, but it's very comforting to know that you have a kicker that's got your back.
After the field goal, on to kick it away is Pinheiro. This is taken at the 3. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Now comes the Chicago defense getting ready for the next possession. There's not much left of this ball game. Just keep everything in front of you here, walk away a winner.
And that's really a pretty good feeling.
It's got to be a great feeling.
You know, to know that all you have to do is wind down the clock. As you said, keep them in front, walk away a victor. That's a pretty good feeling at the end of the game.
Heads held high.
Lady!
On 1st and 10, Stafford. He's going to let it fly. And that is incomplete. Down to 15 seconds now. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29.
They can't hang with us.
To throw again. Stafford. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Bears' 45-yard line. So this one in the win column for the Chicago Bears. And I know I'm not breaking any news when I say that any road win in this league is a good one.
No doubt.
But it's a double bonus when you get a victory on the road in your division.
And when you start a season, each team breaks down their schedule in different ways. Some do it every 4 games, right? Let's go quarterly. Others say, listen, we've got to take care of our home field. And, you know, out of a 16-game season, if you get 8 at home, let's at least win 7 at home and split our road games. That's what you're trying to get done. So you're exactly right. A road win, precious, especially within the division.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. With that, we say so long, everyone, from Ford Field.